will understood every single point. At the end of the class, we'll also share the PPT with you, which Ahuja ma'am will be using to teach you. Okay. So Ahuja ma'am, you
Yeah,
can begin now.
yeah, thank you. So good evening, everyone. Uh,
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
yeah. So before starting, I would just like to know from you all, have you all ever done any programming language previously, or like, is this the first time you are learning any programming language?
You guys can
Yeah,
Ma'am, I am a little acquainted with Java because I had it in my class 10, so I've done a little bit of it, not much.
Okay,
okay, and learn some basics of Python, just simply basics and nothing much.
okay, fine. So would you all like me to start with Python introduction, or like you would like me to give you some brief about what is programming and some general terms?
Ma'am, I think the basics of programming is
Okay,
fine. Like, let's start
okay,
from the very
fine.
roots.
Yeah,
Okay,
ma'am, basically assume that no one knows anything. So start
okay,
from very scratch.
sure. Okay. So as we know that Python is a programming language, what is programming? Programming means giving instructions to a computer to perform some task. Because computer is a machine, and a machine cannot directly understand like programming language also means to interact with a machine you need to learn a language which is understood by the machine. So a computer can understand only machine language, which is in the form of 0 and 1, and they are also called as binary language. So programming is a way of interacting with the computer, because programming is whenever you write any programming in any program in any language, whether it is Python, whether it is Java, it gets converted into machine language internally. Okay, so that is how computer understands it and gives the output. So that is known as programming. So nowadays we have different types of programming languages, and internally they all have the same process of getting the output. Okay, so we are going to have Python introduction first, and then we will understand few technical terms in this only. Okay, so Python is an interpreted language. Okay, before moving ahead with the Python introduction, do you know what is a compiler and what is an interpreter? Anyone knows? No, I was talking about converting language into machine language. Now, how does a programming language gets converted into machine language? There is something which is doing that. So what it is? It is known as compiler. A compiler is a program which converts your programming language into machine language. Okay, so that is
Mm.
the task of compiler, and compiler is already there in the software which you will be using. It is inbuilt. Some software may not have compiler. You need to install compiler separately, and then you need to add it to your software, but usually it is there. Okay, so compiler first of all converts programming language into machine language. Second thing which compiler does is it checks for syntax errors. Like suppose when you're writing a program, you missed a bracket, you missed a comma, so those kind of errors can also be rectified by compiler. That are the two tasks of a compiler. So only when your program is successfully compiled, the interpreter executes the code line by line. So these are the two important terms in any programming language which we should know about. So as I was telling that Python is an interpreted language. Now the meaning of this is that in Python, both compiler and interpreter works together. But if you compare it with Java, in Java, compiler works separately and interpreter works separately. So there are two-step process of running a Java program. But in Python, it is together. That is why we call it as a interpreted language. Then,
So are
yeah,
you clear till here, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there is a very one important point as you are in the live classes. So as in ma'am is moving ahead, if there is a word okay ma'am from your end, okay, will help us to take the next step, because every time we stop a particular sentence or a paragraph, we always wait that yes, we get something from your end. Okay, just okay ma'am, yes ma'am, I understood. Are you getting this? This will take us ahead being a teacher.
Sure, sir. Okay.
Chalo, perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yes ma'am,
Yeah.
Yeah.
continue.
Okay.
So till now you're okay with this compiler stuff?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Move ahead, ma'am.
Okay. So Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. Okay, he's the person who has developed Python. Then Python is called a general purpose language also. What do we mean by general purpose? That means that you can use it for many different purposes. Whether it is for creating a desktop application, whether it is for creating web application, or you can use it for data science and machine learning, or for game development. It has a lot of uses. So that is why we call it as a general purpose language. Then Python is free and open source. It means we can download it free of cost, and it is open source means that uh, you can also change the existing Python code. Means developers can upload their own version of Python code in the Python community, and others can actually use it. Like suppose you create a new library, you can put it in the Python community and people can use it. Okay, so that is the meaning of open source.
Ma'am,
Whereas
does this generate any revenue?
revenue in the sense,
It's free and
that
open source.
is, yeah,
So if I upload
definitely.
something,
Let's say if a library is getting very popular, so if people know about it, might be your library becomes very popular among people, so definitely you will have a revenue, no, if people come to know, because your name
okay.
will also be there, developed by the person. I have never done this, but I have seen one person who has created his own library, and he actually showed me once.
Now, I tell you over here one point, just like the Java. Okay, this is also open source and it's for free, available for free. And you will see many softwares, many websites are
Actually,
developed.
Java is not really free. I mean, yes, the software and all is free, but
Yeah,
if you have to use some premium features, it is not free, of
yeah.
course.
Their supportive stuff is available for cost.
Yeah.
Means you will see that you purchase, you have a Gmail. Okay, there you
Hmm.
get 15 GB free storage. But if you want to extend your storage, then you have to pay the fees. Are you understanding
Yeah.
over here? Like Google Maps. Okay, Google Map is free for all of us. We all are using the Google Map free of cost. But you will check the Uber drivers. Okay, they use this Google Map, but the Uber is paying money to the Google because they are using it for the purpose of business. They have integrated that Google Map in their Uber app. Are you understanding that how these free
Yes,
and
sir.
open sources generate revenue? They generate revenue from the business.
Okay, sir. Got you.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Then we will see what are the advantages of using Python. So Python is very easy to read, learn, and write because its syntax is just like English language, very simple. Then it is a productive language because we do not really focus on the syntax. Instead, we focus on solving the problem. Then it is an interpreted language. We have already seen that what is an interpreted language, what is the meaning of that. Okay, so it is dynamically typed also. What is the meaning of dynamically typed? It means that suppose like, I guess if you remember Java or any other language like C or C++, you might have come across variables, or let's say data types. Anyone remembers that?
Yes, ma'am. Little. Very
Yeah.
little.
Okay.
Ma'am,
So
over here, 90% of the students are not aware about these languages. And
okay, then I will not go into that much.
yes,
I will
yes.
not compare it.
Assume that they are doing it for the first time. Only
Okay.
you will find one or two students who have the basics of it, but the rest of them are not even at all aware that what is
Yeah.
this syntax and what is this HTML code and anything.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So dynamically typed means that it is a dynamic language in the sense like the type of value is decided by the Python interpreter at runtime. In other languages, we specify the interpreter that this is the type of value, like integer. But in Python, you do not need to specify that. That is the meaning of dynamically typed. Its practical meaning you will understand when I will show you the practical of that. Okay. Then, as we know, it is free and open source, which is its advantage. Then we will now see what are the applications of Python. What are the uses of Python? Now Python can be used for scripting purpose. Scripting means what? Mostly it is server side, like suppose automation. What you might have heard about this automation term. If you have not heard, I will tell. Automation means that you will write a code and it will do the task for you. Like suppose you are handling a, let's say a some business, and customers have queries 24/7. Now you cannot handle the queries 24/7, right? So you can do that automation. You can do it by doing automation. Like you can create a code where it will handle all the customer queries. Means you do not need to do the task which can be done by your code.
Like a
Okay,
real life example is the chatbots. Most of
correct.
the website you go and you see they start chatting
Mm.
with you.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried the Amazon chatbots? Means
Mm.
they will ask your email ID, they will ask your phone number, they will
But
try to ask
actually, yeah,
where you live.
chatbot will be a different example. In
Yeah,
this
but
scripting, we
automation.
can,
Example for the automation,
yeah, yeah,
basically.
we can automate the boring stuff. Instead
Yes.
of doing manually, we can do it with a code. That is
Yes.
the main thing. Yeah. Then we can use Python for data science and machine learning, which you will be learning later. And AI comprises of machine learning and data science, like creating chatbots, creating smart technologies like smart gates, smart TV, all those things. Then we can create GUI applications with Python. GUI means graphical based. You can have an interface and you can create an app. Like it is just an interface which the user can see, which can have buttons, images, all that. Then Python has a separate library for game development also. So you can build games also with Python. Then we can do web development also. We can create websites. We can use Python for computer vision. Computer vision means with which you can create real time applications. Real time in the sense like face recognition, emotion detection, those kind of real time applications you can create. Then Python is used a lot in robotics also nowadays, in the coding, robotics coding. Then we can use Python for web scraping. Web scraping is actually, it comes under like searching for popular keywords on the internet and like generating some meanings on that, that is web scraping. Then we can use Python for doing network programming also. Network programming means you can create chatting applications with that. Okay, then we can do numeric and scientific computing with Python also. And we can use it for enterprise applications, like the applications which are used by MNCs. Okay, like CRM, customer relationship
Yes.
manager, kind of those applications. Yeah.
Yes.
So these
Okay.
were the applications of Python. Okay, now I would like to tell you how do you download Python.
Make sure you will over here note down the steps, because at the end of this class you have to really download the Python. Because if you'll not download the Python, then how you will move ahead, how you will do the
Yeah.
coding. So make
So
sure you will tell them step by step, and I'll ensure that they will write it down
okay.
in their notebook. Okay, Abhig, Shruti, Mona, ma'am.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
okay.
I've already got it downloaded, actually.
Oh yeah, you got it
Yeah,
downloaded.
same.
Still there are many who are left with.
Yeah, so this is the link of the website from where you can download Python. Okay, and you can just click on that. Actually, if we notice that Python version is upgrading every month. Last few days back I checked, it was 3.10, so now the latest version is 3.11. Okay, so this you have to click. This is very important, because once you download Python, then only you can use the Python software. It's not like you download the Python software first and then you download this. No, first you should download Python. Okay, now when you download this, you will get a default editor for Python. What do you mean by editor? Editor is a environment where we do coding. So by default, when you download Python, you get this idle editor. Its name is IDLE. You can just search it on the search bar and you will get this one. Then I will, now here, this is a Python shell. So if you want to, do some testing, like if you want to like execute a single line, then you can use this shell. But if you want to write multiple lines of code, we will prefer to create a file for that. So I'll just show you a little bit about this shell. Let's say you want to print something on the screen in Python. For that, we use print bracket. Then you pass some value here. Now, whenever I print some text in programming language, it should always be either within double quotes or single quotes. So we need to write the double quotes and then we need to print some text. This is also called as string. Anything which is inside double quotes or single quotes is called a string. And then we press enter. So you can see hello is printed, right? You
So
can
ma'am,
print
it can be only text or it can be number, anything.
anything. That is what I was like showing. We can print an integer also. We can print a decimal number also.
So number should not be inside this.
We can put numbers also within double quotes, but then it will become string only. It will become a text because a text can have numbers also. It can have decimal numbers. It can have special characters also.
Okay,
Like
but if
I
you
can,
want to keep specifically as the number,
yeah, then we should not put double quotes.
okay, perfect.
Like this can,
And ma'am, what do we use single quotes for?
yeah, we use single quotes also in case of strings only. Like
So
I can
the
write this
what will
inside
be
this.
the difference between the
There is
single?
no difference actually.
Okay, they both means the same.
Yeah, in Python they both means the same. That is the,
Okay.
yeah.
In Java, there was a huge
Yes,
difference.
yes.
Okay, got.
In Java, single quote was for character, but here
Yes, yes.
character and words they all come inside string only. Even you can
Okay,
write a character within double quotes.
okay, got it.
Okay. Although it is not same in case of functions, like there will be some functions which are used to check a single character. In that case, it will be character based. But in case of double quotes, single quotes, it considers them as same only.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you please repeat this part again, like whatever you said just now?
No, I just told about later. Like I told that when you will study about some functions, functions
Huh?
are specific to a character and a word. They are not same for both.
Okay, correct. Yes.
Okay. Then actually in this shell, even if you write without print, still it will give the output. So this shell is just, in this shell only you get the output, which you will write in the code, which you will write in the file. Its output will come over here also. Here only. Okay, so we don't really do coding in this shell, but one line of code can be done over here.
Okay.
So now we are going to see how do we create a new Python file. They will do the coding later only, right? Like after the class, they will
Yes,
practice.
yes. This is just an introductory class. We'll show them how things are working. Okay.
Means from the next class, they will do the code alongside with me.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
So in this class, they will make down the notes and they will
Hmm.
practice the same in the home after this class.
Okay. So this is, so to create a new Python file, you have to click on File, New File, and then you
Ma'am,
have to
how you
save.
arrived to this IDE shell after downloading that Python?
Yeah, I told them that we have to go to the search, Windows search, and type IDLE.
From where this search box opened?
Actually, it is for me. It is showing over here only.
Like,
I think you
suppose,
have old Windows, maybe.
okay, then it,
Otherwise, you can also go on this Start button, and you can search from here also.
okay, no issues, ma'am.
Okay. Now you have to first save your file, because if you will not save, all the data will be deleted once you close the editor. So you can select some directory where you want to save your file. Now you will give a file name, like I'm giving first, okay, it is already there. I'll give my file. Okay. Then you just need to click on save. So if you notice, by default, it is considering it as a Python file only because its extension is .py. You know what is file extension? The type of file. So by default, automatically it is considering it as a Python file. It is adding py in the extension. Py means it is a Python file.
Correct.
Now here we will see how do we run the Python program from the file. So just write something over here. click on run module, and you will get the output in the shell only, like this. Okay.
What is the difference between this hello and the previous hello which we
Actually,
have
there is
done?
no difference. I was showing them that we don't do coding in this shell, because
Okay.
here we get the output, because it
Okay.
cannot, we cannot work here. The reason is it cannot support multiple lines at the same time. Let's say
Okay.
you have to write 10 lines of code. It
Hmm.
will not work. You can only use it for single line.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Perfect.
Basically, shell is the output window
Yeah,
for
it
the
is the output window. Yeah, but you
program.
can do one line of code also over there just to test
Oh,
something, like do some single line of operations.
okay.
So now I will be telling you about the features of this print function. So let's say I am writing two print functions one after another. How will I get the output? I will get the output in two separate lines. But what if I want to get the output of two print functions in same line? Not like I will add hello world in the same print function. No. I want that using two print functions, I can get the output in a single line. So for that, print function provides us with an argument. Argument means something which you write inside the bracket of print function, called end argument. It merges the two print functions.
Okay.
And how do you want to merge? Do you want to merge the two print functions with a space? Then you need
Hmm.
to give a space like this in
Hmm.
between. Actually, space is also a character in programming language. So,
Okay.
that is why I have written single quotes over here.
Okay.
Now I will run it, and you will get a space between hello and world, and you can see they are coming in the same line.
Okay. Means if after world you want to write something else, so again after world
Yes.
you will put
If
and.
let's say you have one more print statement,
I'm learning Python.
and if you want now, how will it come? It will come in a separate line. But
Okay. But if you want to bring them in the same line,
then you can use end here also.
okay, again
This
we'll
time you
take.
can put a dot because it is a new statement.
Okay.
So it will display a dot, and then it will merge.
Okay. Correct.
So in this you can provide anything. You can leave the space, then it will not give any spaces.
Okay.
So this is about end argument.
Okay. Perfect.
Hmm. The other argument is separator, SEP.
Okay.
SEP is used to separate a sentence with some symbol in between. Let's say I want to get an output like this. After every word, I want to get a symbol, dollar symbol, let's say. Now, there are two ways of doing it. One way, you can manually insert dollar symbol, but
Hmm.
don't you think it will be time taking to insert dollar symbol manually? So what
Correct.
I can do is, I can first separate my word, my sentence with a comma, and then I can write SEP equals to dollar. This
Okay.
will add dollar symbol after every word.
Okay, so basically, while writing the code, I'm separating them with comma and then I'm replacing that comma with dollar.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Actually, we are not replacing, but automatically, if you want some symbol to be inserted in a string, you have to separate them with a comma.
Correct.
Okay.
Like in the Excel, we do like if we want to constant a particular cell, we always use the dollar
Yes, we use
before
the
the
dollar.
cell,
Yes.
alphabet and the number. So we have to write dollar sign twice. But with this
Huh.
code, we can do it just by writing the code. So you are understanding the worth of this automation.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Okay. Then now we will talk about comments. Comments are used to hide the the code. Let's say I want to hide this line from running. So comments are of two types, single line and multi-line. Single line is used to hide a single line only. So they are represented using hashtag. So just put a hashtag symbol before this. Its color will change, and when you run it, you will not get to see the first line in the output.
Okay.
See, hello is not coming here.
Okay. I got it. Just like in PHP, we will put double slash.
Yeah.
Okay. Something which you don't want to show, you will put
Yeah.
simply.
Or sometimes, let's say you're writing some code and someone does not know what it is doing. So you can give instructions also using that. Like I can write like this hashtag. This is printing the output.
Okay.
That someone who is seeing my code, they know what is this line doing.
Some type of notes.
Yeah, even for that purpose we can use,
Yes, yes.
because it is hidden and Python interpreter cannot see it.
Cannot see it, but the one who is coding it, they can.
Coding, yeah, they can see.
Suppose Auja ma'am prepared a code, but after 3 days, suppose there was some issues and ma'am was not available. So
Mhm.
if I open the code, I'll read these notes and I'll understand that what is the meaning of these codes. So these notes will help me to understand these codes.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah, and even let's say you have written 100 lines of code and some mistake has occurred in those code and now you want to remove it. Instead
Mhm.
of removing, you can comment that also so that you
Yeah,
can come back later and
yeah. You
rectify
you
the
can
problem.
you can reuse those codes again
Yeah,
without writing them again and again.
yeah.
So, ma'am, if I want to nullify those 100 lines, I just use the hashtag in
Not
front
every
of the.
line. No, no. For that
This
you
is
will
just
use,
a single line.
yeah. To comment multiple lines in Python, we use three triple quotes in the starting until where you want to comment till there.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
all this is commented.
Perfect. Now nothing will run in the system.
Hmm.
It will come blank. Perfect.
So that is all about comments. So next
So
is
if
da-
everyone will prepare the notes till here. Whatever we have studied, and we have studied this hash. We have studied that how to add the dollar symbols and other symbols. Clear. We have also studied that three hash tricks, that how to comment out multiple lines. Okay. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
I think others are sleeping. Okay, ma'am. You continue.
yeah. Okay. Now we will see about data types. Data means a value. Like a value can be a number, it can be a text. So in programming language, every value has a name. And that is the reason we call it as data type. What is the type of the data? So what are the different data types we have in Python? First is numeric. Numeric involves integer like -9, 0, this is integer. Then we have floating point number. Floating point number means decimal values like 9.8, -18.7, something like this. Okay, so integer is denoted by int and floating point is denoted by float. These are the keywords for representing int and float. Okay, then the next data type are strings. Strings means collection of letters, numbers, symbols enclosed within double quotes or single quotes. These both are known as strings.
So, in the code, do we need to take the help of these words, integers and float?
Not now. No, we in Python we don't need to, but when you're converting from one data type to another, then you might need these.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. And strings are represented using str. You
Yes.
see, the color is also changing because they are keywords, inbuilt words.
Okay.
Then we have Boolean type. Boolean means only
Zero
truth,
and
true and false, we call.
yeah.
So, yeah. And it is represented using bool in Python.
Okay.
Then we have complex. So complex is just like complex number in maths. So you all are aware of that? You all remember complex number?
Root over -3.
Which one?
Root over
Yes.
Yeah,
-2.
but we
Minus
represented it like in maths, we represented like 2 plus 3 I.
I. Yes.
Yeah, correct,
So
correct.
here 2 was real and 3 was imaginary.
Imaginary number.
Yeah, but in Python we write j instead of I. That is the only difference.
Okay, J.
Yeah. So this is how complex numbers are written. And they are represented using complex.
Complex. Perfect.
So these are all the data types in Python.
Okay.
Ma'am, where we use these data types?
As I told you, every value has a name, right? So you should know the different names of those value. It's not about where we use. Everywhere we need to use some or the other value. Without value, can we work? No, right?
Uh,
Values are required. Data has name in programming. These all are data only, but they have some name, right? What do we call them? So I just told you the names of them and the functions which can be which are associated with them.
Like a big, you remember we have studied there are types of data, nominal data, ordinal data.
Mm.
Okay,
Yes.
so that not have the implication of the ordinal. There is no
Correct.
implication of the
Correct.
interval. Okay, just we need to understand that what is the type of the data. That okay, sir, this data belongs to the ordinal group. This data belongs to the nominal group. Are you
Yes.
remembering that point?
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, so don't worry, I'm here so that I can relate you whatever you have studied and relating it with the practical part. That's why I'm here.
Correct, sir.
Got
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Perfect. Ma'am, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, now I will tell you about variables. Now, variables are actually names given to a value. Why do we need to give names to a value? Because we need to store them. Suppose you have some items in your home. You can have a pair of shoes. If I talk about your clothes, you cannot just put it anywhere in your home. No, you store them in a proper place so that you are able to find them later when you want to search or you want to get it. Similarly, values should also be stored somewhere so that you can access them in another file when you need. So variables are names given to a value. Okay, because when I was printing something inside directly inside print, the values are not stored anywhere. These are temporary. When I close the window, they will be gone. And we cannot even access them in another file. So to store the value somewhere, we need to use variables. And how do we create a variable in Python is you give a variable name equals to value.
Ma'am, just a moment. Let me explain you with the them with the example. You remember you used to log into my portal and you have to place your username and password. So that username and password, your username and password was stored in my database. Okay, it was stored as like user slash name and then pass slash word. So that whenever you enter your username and password, this was transferred to my server, and from the server it says that yes, it's correct. Then it transfer to you a successful login page. You remember?
Yes, sir.
So that is the variables where we store your data so that you can log in. Clear?
Yes, sir. Okay.
And there can be multiple variables like I used to take your name, your email ID, your phone number, are you working or not, okay, your date of birth, so that I have all the data. And whenever I need the help of, whenever I suppose I need to wish you a happy birthday, so what I'll do, I'll write a code. That code will take the help of the date of birth from the date of birth column section and wish you happy birthday. Am I clear, ma'am? This point is right what I've given you.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. So Abhi, Shruti, Mona, are you clear with this point?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Perfect.
So,
So this is the way we create a variable. You give a variable name in the left side equals to value. So a variable name can be like any name like a equals to 10. Now your 10 is being recognized using a. So if you want to print 10, you will not print 10 directly. Instead, you will print a. Okay. So let's take an example here. Let's say if I write a equals to 10, we will write print a. So when you print variables, you should not give any quotation marks because it is a name, not a text. So 10 is printed, right? I
Mm,
can I can store any type of.
related with the concept, like you remember we used to do in our earlier school days time, whenever we used to solve an integration, we'll assume a portion is equals to a, another portion equals to
Yes.
b, and then we'll do the integration, and then at the end we'll understand that A means 10 and B means 15. You
Yes,
remember?
yes,
The
yes,
same
sir.
thing is happening over here. We are
Yes,
assuming that A is equals to 10.
yes.
Okay, ma'am, move over.
Yeah. So like you can store any type of value in a variable, and you can see I'm printing B this time. Okay. Similarly, I can store a decimal value also. Okay, this way. You can
Now,
print all the, yeah.
to print all this in the same line, we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
again use the argument, right?
We can use comma. A,
Okay.
comma, B, comma, C.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, then all the three will come. Suppose you want to add A and C, ma'am, in that situation.
Yeah, we can add them, but that I will tell in operators. I
Okay,
think right now, if I tell, then that is a few like upcoming topic.
okay, no issues, ma'am.
So that is how we create variables. Now, do you think variables can have any name? It's not like that. Variables can only variables should never start with a number first of all. Like you
Okay,
cannot give a variable name like this. This will give an error if I print it. It is giving invalid syntax.
okay,
Variable can either start with a letter or an underscore.
okay,
Now your variable names usually should be technical and relatable to the value which you are storing. Let's say you are storing the name of a person, so you can give a variable name like name equals to this. This is fine. Number can appear in your variable, but either at the middle or at the end, not in the beginning.
okay. Ma'am, is it possible? Can I store like you have said, na, A is equals to 10. So can I store multiple numbers in single variable?
No,
Like
we
A
need to give
is equal
multiple
to,
variables. No,
okay,
that will be a different data type altogether. You can use list or tuples for that.
okay.
Yeah. Like arrays. Have you ever heard about arrays in Java or something?
No, nothing,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, I've heard.
Yeah. To store
Arrays.
multiple values, we need to use
Yes, use
arrays,
arrays.
list. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, it can be done in Python as well, or we need to take
Yeah.
the input?
Python have list and tuples for that.
Okay, Python have list. Okay, perfect.
So yeah, that is all about variables. Now, one more thing I told about Python being dynamic type. Not
Hmm.
dynamic type here is, like, say I am writing A as 10 in first line. In the second line, if I write A as hello,
Hmm.
now this is called dynamic type. A of this time will have which value?
So, ma'am, system will get confused because A will have two values now.
It will print the last value assigned, which will be
Okay,
hello.
last value assigned.
Yeah, that is the reason of Python being called as dynamic type.
Okay, I
That
got.
is, yeah. This time it will be 12.3. We can change the type of variable at any point of time. It
Okay,
is dynamic.
perfect.
Yeah. You can also create multiple variables in same line, like A comma B comma C equals to 10 comma 20 comma 30. So A will have 10, B will have 20, and C will have 30.
Okay,
This is called multiple assignments.
okay,
Ma'am, if two variables have the same value, like A is equals
Yeah,
to 10 and B is equals to
then
10,
we
then
can do
how?
like this. P equals to Q equals to 50. We can do like this.
Okay,
what is
ma'am.
the meaning of this, ma'am?
This means if I want to give same value to all the variables, then I can use this.
Okay, means P and Q will have the same value, which is equals to
Yeah,
50.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
So do you want me to stop here for today, or should I tell them something more?
Yes, Abhi, Shruti, Kapil, Mona, are you enjoying the session? You want to continue?
Because we have just
Yes.
5 minutes more, so I was just asking, like, should I take other topic? We have only 5 minutes, or should we keep it for today as it is the first session?
No, ma'am, if there's just 5 minutes, I think we can just shift it to the next day.
Ma'am, can you
Because
please give a quick revision because I've been late in the session due to some
Ma'am,
issue.
give a revision of the section. Give a revision of the section.
Revision, I think we have done so many things. And don't you think it's already recording? So you can view the recording.
Yeah. Kapil, yeah, that's good. I'll share the recording.
Okay.
I think someone's microphone is on.
Is it fine now?
Yeah. I think it's coming from your end only. I don't know.
From my end.
No,
Just
now it is fine. I was saying that they can view the recordings. So
yeah.
we have done so much, and again,
Kapil,
speaking
as you are
again
late and Mona, as you are late, I'll share the recordings with you, and you can watch that recording sessions as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So, Austin, we'll be ending session there. Thank you. And thank you everyone for participating.
Hello, sir. Sir, should we have
Hopefully you understood the session still now and we enjoyed it. We'll be able to relate it with our concepts.
yes, sir.
Perfect. So we'll see in the next sessions, each and everyone. Okay.
hello, ma'am.
Hello. Yes, Kapil.
Sir, I want to ask, should we have more sessions about Python or because it's our first session, I think.
Yeah. It's a first session. Rest I'll be discussing with you. Okay. You can ping me by 6 p.m. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, Kapil. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
well,
students.
Thank you, sir.
okay,
Thank you,
welcome.
ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.